Hey everybody, this week I have teamwork on my mind and I would like to share a true story about a man named Chalie Plumb, a U.S. Navy jet pilot who served in Vietnam. Now, maybe some of you have heard it before as it has been told many, many times. This version appeared in the Huffington Post a few years back. Charlie flew 74 consecutive successful combat missions. However, on his 75th mission, his F-4 Phantom fighter plane was shot down by a surface-to-air missile. The plane exploded with some 12,000 pounds of jet fuel, flipping the plane topsy-turvy, end over end, down toward a rice paddy below. Charlie was forced to eject. The only thing between him and imminent death was his parachute that he prayed would open. He finally felt the opening shock of the parachute. During the 90 seconds of descent, he was shot at by enemy troops. The audacity of this enemy, Charlie would later say. They just knocked down my multi-million-dollar airplane, and now they're trying to kill the pilot. Charlie made it to the ground alive, but he was then captured and spent over 2,000 brutal days as a prisoner of war in a communist Vietnamese prison camp. Now, many years after the war ended, Charlie, his wife, and another couple were sitting together in a little restaurant in Kansas City. 2 tables over was this guy who kept looking at him. Charlie would look back. He didn't recognize him, but he kept catching this guy staring at him. Finally, the guy stood up and walked over to Charlie's table and pointed at him, and with a sort of a stern look on his face, he said, "You're Captain Plumb." Charlie looked up at him and said, "Yes, I'm Captain Plumb." The guy said, "You're that guy. You flew jet fighters in Vietnam. You're a fighter pilot, part of that Top Gun outfit. You launched from the aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk. You parachuted into enemy territory, and you spent 6 years as a prisoner of war." Well, somewhat dumbfounded, Charlie looked up at the guy and asked, "How in the world did you know all that?" The man chuckled, smiled, and replied, "Because I packed your parachute." Charlie was speechless. The man grabbed Charlie's hand and pumped his arm and said, "I guess it worked." And then he walked off. Charlie laid awake that night thinking about all the times he had walked through that long, narrow room below sea level on the aircraft carrier where the men sat at tables packing the parachutes. How many times must he have walked past this man without even saying hi, "Good morning, good job," or "I appreciate you"? How many times did I pass the man whose job would eventually save my life because I was a jet jockey, a Top Gun racing around the sky at twice the speed of sound, because I was a fighter pilot and he was just a sailor? Well, this wonderful story has me thinking a lot about the team that I'm on and all the people that pack my parachute. I have not always done a great job of saying thank you to those people. We have many of these unsung heroes at Faribault High School, and it is their support and their hard work that allows the system to work and for all of us to fly. My challenge to myself and to you this week is to recognize some of these parachute packers. Tell them how much you appreciate them and how important they are to your success and to the success of our students. Have a great week. We are Faribault.